Welcome to another Scottish mountain walking guide. For today's episode, I travelled to Glenshee to climb 4 of the Cairn gorms: Càrn and Tuirc, Tolmount, Buidhe and Cairn of Claise. Most of the walk follows paths that are marked on the OS maps, but there are sections of today's walk that do not follow any defined or worn pathways. And on another day, some of these sections are over very wet and boggy ground, and due to the terrain can be very difficult to navigate if you're in cloud. For today's walk, there was plenty of snow, and snowshoes or skis made for much easier going. The total distance is 16.7 kilometres, with 910 metres of ascent, and it is expected to take around 5 hours and 40 minutes to walk. Parking is in a small car park at the side of the A93, just over a mile north of the Glenshee ski centre. Parking is free and there are no height restrictions. You can probably fit around 10 cars. It's around 2 hours and 10 minutes drive, both from Glasgow and Edinburgh. The closest public toilet is in Braemar, 10 minutes drive away. Details for the car park, the Scottish Mountain Weather website, and a link to the route on OS maps can be found in the description below. From the car park, you follow the path down and cross the river, heading in an easterly direction. And then you follow the path. There are a couple of paths here that you can follow along. Both of them basically go along the side of this river. This ground here is very wet and boggy, even in the middle of summer. It's a very wet section of the path. You make your way along the path, you cross a little stream here, and then you follow the path. There's one that goes slightly more to the north, but they both continue in an easterly direction. And again, this is still very boggy ground until you start gaining some altitude. And once you get up a little bit, then the bogginess goes away and the ground gets much better going. Although there is still some bogginess even up to this point. It then begins to get rocky and you're making your way up through the rocks. Again, there are a couple of choices on the path. You can go more directly to the summit, or you can use this zigzag just to make the ascent a little bit easier going. There's a reasonably large cairn at the top of Cairn and Tuirc, and from there you're going to continue in an easterly, slightly southeasterly direction. And this section is very rocky, so there's not much sign of a path at this point. It does become more prominent as the further on you go. You can also head slightly more north, or you can take the path here, which is more direct, but what you're aiming for is this large broad Buidhe here. And you will see some people will cut further across. If they're going straight to Cairn of Claise, then they may cut this corner and head straight down here, head directly south. For this walk I wanted to incorporate Tolmount and Buidhe, and they're quite remote mountains. From here the path ends and I'm just crossing across the mountainside here. It's a very flat, slightly descending, featureless terrain. This area here is quite boggy. And you can see there is a path here that you pick up on, but between here and up here there is no defined path. With the snow, it made it much easier going today. I had snowshoes on, and so crossing this field of snow was actually quite easy and quite pleasant. And it was a clear day, so you could see the summit of Tolmount, and navigation was very easy because I could see where I was going. I've done this walk in the cloud and it was a very uncomfortable walk because you have nothing to focus on and there's nothing to pick out in the distance, so it's very hard to navigate. And this section down here is very boggy. Cross through here, and once you start, you'll see this ridge, and then once you start to ascend up onto that ridge, you turn to your left and head in a northeast direction, and you'll soon come to the summit. There's not much of ascent up here. There's a little bit of distance to travel, but it's not a steep ascent as you can see by the contours. And then from here you're going to head south-southwest. Where this path is shown, there is a line of fence posts going along there, so you follow that for a little bit and then you leave that and turn more to your left as you're descending here. You don't want to come too sharply because you'll descend too far as you're going up Buidhe over here. You can see it sort of flattens off here and curves round to your left as you're going this way, and then you're going to start heading east again. And it starts to get a little bit steeper, but again, this isn't very steep. It's not a bad walk. You'll get to a reasonable cairn on the summit of Buidhe, and then from there you're going to head directly west. And you follow down, back down, similar to the path you went up at the end there. Go down and then cross across this field here. There is a path here. Depends on the conditions. In the snow, there wasn't a clear path to follow. If you can see the summit of Cairn of Claise, you're heading to the right of it as you're ascending up here. And you'll join up with the fence posts that came from Tolmount. There's a line of fence posts, you'll join up with that and you just keep making your way up. Eventually you'll come to a much more defined fence line There's more fence posts closer together as you're going along here. These other fence posts are about 100 metres apart, whereas these ones might be about 10 or 20 metres apart. So you can clearly see that, and then you follow that line of fence posts to the summit of Cairn of Claise. You will see a lot of walkers that continue along this path, and there's another circuit of 4 Munros you can do if you don't go out to Tolmount and Buidhe. But for me, I think it's easier to include them in this walk, and then from here, make your way back to the car park. This section of the walk is not on a defined path, but it was just the easiest way to return back down to the valley here. You can, from here, make your way north and join back up to the path that you came over at Càrn and Tuirc, and then go back down the same path you came up, but that does involve a little bit of ascent from the Buidhe here back up to the summit, and I've done it that way in the past, but I thought I'd try something new and come down. So heading directly north from the summit of Cairn of Claise, and then turning left and just following the gentle contour down this little ridge here. It gets a little bit steeper at the end, this section, but it's not difficult. Without snow, it's an easy walk down here. With snow, you might want to have crampons on so that it's steep enough that you could slide down it, and there were actually marks from where people had just slid all the way down, and there's a big chute. So once you get down to the bottom, there is actually a path. It's not marked on the map, but there is a trail that runs along the side of the river here, and you follow that all the way back to the path that you came in on at the beginning, and then you follow that path back down, heading to the west, back down to the car park. Good morning, it's 9:15. Straight ahead is the summit of Cairn and Tuirc. Nice high start for this walk. We're at about 500 metres, summit's about 1,000 metres or so. From here you head directly east and follow the path. There's a bridge that crosses the river, and the path goes up the left hand side of that stream ahead and pretty much goes straight to the summit. And I think you can almost see the summit Cairn from here today. Nice clear day at the moment. About -1, -2 degrees. Car park is already quite full. You don't normally park that way over there, you normally park facing towards us, but anyway. So we're going to head off and do this one, and I'll see how the conditions are when I get up there. You've got an opportunity to do a circuit of 4 right up to the ski centre, or you can go over the back and do 2 that are quite far away and come back down to here. This section of the walk is usually very boggy, very wet, but today it's quite frozen but not completely solid. Looking like it's going to be a fantastic day for a walk. Snow is quite frozen, a bit crunchy. Could get a bit trickier going up here. That's the easiest ascent up there I've ever made. The snow is nicely compacted, lots of footsteps, it's just like walking up a big staircase. Only downside is the wind's picked up, it's really quite cold. Wind chill's meant to be about -7. Almost at the top. Then we'll get into the sunlight and then go for a nice walk. At the summit of Càrn and Tuirc, it's very windy. Glorious views. From the summit we continue east and curve round to the right. There's a very broad Buidhe ahead, and then we'll go up to the next top, which I think is directly over there. We're heading over. If you can see, there is a cairn over there. We don't want to go quite that far to the left. If you go too far to the right, there's a bit of a drop and a descent between here and the next top, so you want to go across to the middle. You can see there's footprints. It's just heading east, slightly to the south of east. On a clear day like today with other people, it's really easy to keep on the path. So I'm coming round here, just going straight ahead. You just don't want to descend. Like I said, if you were to go too far to the right, you would go down into that little gully. So you want to keep to the left of the gully and go across that broad Buidhe. You can see the footsteps there taking you to the next top. If you want to do Tolmount is round at the back, so I'm just going to go straight on here. Do Tolmount first. Tolmount is directly ahead. Quite an easy walk, to be honest, from that one back there, but it's difficult to navigate when it's in cloud. I've done this before in cloud and it's very difficult. It's just the contours of the land. It's really hard to place where you are on the map. And then Buidhe directly ahead. Looks like it's got some very light cloud on the top. Maybe not, maybe just the snow. So basically follow these ski tracks. There's just a lot of rivers and depressions on the left, a lot of gorges. So you want to keep to the right to go round them, and it's it's not very much of an incline to the summit over there. From there you retrace your steps back to just where the sunlit part is there, and then you can go up Buidhe. And then from Buidhe, you just work your way back directly ahead just now, and then go up that bridge there, takes you to the final summit for today's walk. some dark clouds coming in. At the summit of Tolmount, very windy. Surprisingly, the wind's not actually that cold. I mean, it's cold, but it's not freezing like it's been earlier on. So the next top is Buidhe, just over there under the sun. It's another easy walk to get to the top of that. And the conditions today with snowshoes are perfect. That was really easy to walk across. Last time I did this in the snow, it was a pain in the backside. The snow was quite deep, you kept falling into holes, it just was From here, head back the way you came, directly south. The summit is over to the left, but we need to go directly south and avoid that large gorge there. So we'll go south until we get to the start of the ascent and then round to the left and then walk up to that top. From the summit of Tolmount, I've been following the fence posts. I've been heading in a south and then a southwesterly direction. But now at this point, I'm going to head off to the left and go up Buidhe. I'm hoping I get up there whilst it's still clear. It does look like the clouds are starting to come over. So from here, just bend a wee bit to the left of where the sun is. I'm following these ski tracks. As long as I don't descend too much in the gorge ahead, we'll be fine. Time for lunch. Sitting down in this little hollow, there's less wind. From here it's a short walk straight ahead and then up to the left and then just up that ridge to the top of Buidhe. At the summit of Buidhe. Yeah, the wind's not died down any here, but at least it's clear. You can see the summit of Cairn of Claise straight ahead. From this top we head almost directly west. We'll join up with that line of fence posts that came down from Tolmount. It comes down the ridge there, then it bends and goes up to the Cairn of Claise. going straight on, basically where the skiers are going. I might bend to the left because the contours look a bit more favourable for going up and then back to the right. But it is just straight ahead here, heading west. Just approaching the line of fence posts. You can see one sticking out there. There's another one further on up there. The summit, I think, is right in the middle, just where the blue sky is between the clouds. So I'm going to head up to that point. It might be a wee bit to the left, I've not checked the map. The fence posts join the ridge very marginally to the right. We're talking maybe 50 or 100 metres. So right up the middle is where I want to be going. At the summit of Cairn of Glenshee, the wind just keeps getting stronger. Yeah, significant wind chill here. Need to put my gloves back on. From here I'm going to head straight back to the car park. I'm going to go straight ahead here towards the first top that we came up, and then I'm going to go down to the left and follow that ridge that goes down there to the left. It looks like I should be able to get down there into the valley and follow that back out to the car park. The car park is directly ahead down there. Looking at the map, the least steep gradient is straight ahead, straight down towards this ridge, and then at the bottom, once you get in the valley, it's turned to your right, and I'll take it back down to the path I came up with this morning. I think I've come to the end of the usable snow for the snowshoes. But they've really worked out well today, so glad I brought them. I'll start just going down in my boots. I've got snow chains, but it looks like it's going to start just turning into grass and mud. rucksack even has holders and straps for your snowshoes. It's a really good bag. Wasn't why I bought it, but it's the first time I've had to use it as well. It's 2 PM. I've been on for about 5 hours. Probably another hour or so to get back to the van. I can see sledging marks, so I'm not the only person to come down this way. I would recommend that you have crampons. I'm quite fortunate there's not enough snow here. If there'd been more snow, I would be in trouble without crampons or an ice axe. But I'll easily make my way down to the stream and then follow that out. I'm back at the path I came in on this morning to climb Càrn and Tuirc. Yeah, it's getting covered in cloud now. Summit's probably clear. It's looking a little bit cloudy. And that top in blue to the right of the white cloud is the summit of Cairn of Claise. And the ridge I came down is the one right in the middle now. So from the summit I went to the left and then turned and came back round and down that ridge there. There is a path that goes alongside the river, not the easiest to follow because it's covered in snow at points. And from here, retrace your steps back down the path that goes down to the right of the river, back down to the car park. And the car park is just in view at the road there. Should make it back before sunset. I'm almost back at the car park. It's just under 6 hours walking time, so by the time I get back it'll be 6 hours of time since I left the van. As always, thank you for watching. I look forward to showing you more in the next video, and bye for now.